If you're looking to score a deal on a foreclosure, these are the numbers you need to see. We're going to cover the latest notices of default, notice of trustee sale, and exactly how many homes have gone back to the bank in this latest edition of the Southern California Foreclosure Report. Hey there, Christian Walsh, real estate agent with Wire Associate. We were listing bank-owned homes during the bust, and we have been tracking the foreclosure numbers and sharing those with you so that you know what to do if you're looking to buy in Southern California. So if you're ready to dive into the notices of default, notice of trustee sale, and REOs for LA, Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino, Ventura, and San Diego counties, hit that like button. And let's get started. Without further ado, diving into the notices of default, this is the month-over-month data, so we're going back all the way to October of 2021. We're going to compare year over year here very shortly, but first want to dive into this so we can see what's going on in the 6 counties we're covering in Southern California. First, we have Orange County, and this general trend we're going to see in almost all of the Southern California counties. We see the numbers were lower just after the foreclosure moratoria ended, and then we started to see people come out of the forbearance programs and actually notices of default were down. They've slowly ticked up over time into 2022 as we're catching up on past notices of default and getting closer to where things are in a more normal market. We had a big spike in August, and we see this in all the counties, and then a drop into September, and then we see October that they're up again, but nowhere near that spike we had in August. So let's bring in some of the other counties. Riverside, similar thing, spike, went down, up a little bit. San Bernardino, spike, and actually we're over the spike. So this is one that's bucking the trend. What's interesting is that of the 3 counties that you see on the screen right now, San Bernardino actually has the fewest number of properties in total. So the fact that their numbers are higher is an interesting trend. We'll keep tracking that. Ventura, our buddies in Ventura, now they buck the trend. They were only at 40 notices of default in August, but that number went up. So they're the one county that is bucking the trend on that big spike we saw in August. And then we bring in San Diego, down from the peak as well that we saw in August. And then there's LA, which changes the scale on everything. Big peak, dropped, and up a little bit. Much higher year over year. So you're going to hear in the news that there's an increase year over year in the number of foreclosure starts, which is the notices of default. This is the first step in the process. Miss a payment, minimum of 120 days, then the notice of default's filed. Then from there, if the payments aren't made, another 90 days goes by, you get the notice of trustee sale, and then 21 days later, the sale can take place. But usually takes much longer, but that's what the law requires. Next phase is the notice of trustee sale. We're actually going to have a sale date assigned when this is sent out, and we can see that some counties are up and some are down. We see that Orange, there's a big drop in the notices of trustee sale. We had a spike in August, even higher spike in September, but those are down. Actually looks to be down in San Diego as well. Ventura is down a little bit, but we do see the notice of trustee sale going up in San Bernardino and Riverside, and then we bring in LA and changes the scale, and there's a drop in the notices of trustee sale. So folks are moving into this next stage of foreclosure, but still not massive numbers. Time for some perspective. We're going to look at year over year data. So this is going back all the way to 2015, and you can see that the notice of default, this first step, that we are up, and it looks nasty, especially in LA when you compare it to years past. We're significantly higher. But if you were to take 2020 and 2021 and 2022, add those together, divide by 3, it works out to about 277 per year. So that shows you that if we didn't have COVID slowing things down, that it would have been more of a straight line, and actually would have been a dip in the number of properties. It also shows that we're still catching up and getting to a more normal market. Our free weekly email newsletter will keep you up to date on the Southern California housing market. Make sure you click that link below to subscribe. Bringing in some perspective, we can see the notices of default all the way back in 2011 during a very different market. They were much higher than we are now. And notices of default at this point in time are already tapering off, as we've discussed in past videos. Wait till you get to the notice of trustee sale. And here we are with the year over year data for the notice of trustee sale, the next step in the process with an actual date published on there for when the trustee sale will take place. If you don't get to this step, you're not going to be foreclosed on, and you can see that we're still low when you look at these numbers as compared to years past. We are down in the notices of trustee sale. We've got some catching up to do. In general, for all the counties, it was going down from 2015. We were seeing fewer properties end up in the notice of trustee sale phase. Putting in perspective, comparing it to 2011, this really shows you we had a lot of properties at this point in time going into the notice of trustee sale phase, and we have tiny numbers. So the idea of a foreclosure wave, and that's really why you need to be looking at this data, the idea of where things are headed, we're not yet at a place where we have to worry about a big foreclosure wave. We don't have enough properties in the first step, and they're not going into the second step, which is this, to get to the point where they'll ultimately be foreclosed on. And the last step, the real estate owned, these are properties that go back to the bank. Now, these aren't all properties that are foreclosed on. Some don't go back to the bank. Some of the properties will be purchased by third-party investors, and others won't actually go into the foreclosure sale because they will be made whole or they will sell normally on the market. The majority of these properties in 2022 have equity right now because values have gone up so much. Although if values drop enough, we could get to the point where some of these folks are upside down. But here, looking at the number of properties in October, year over year that went back, you can see 2015, 2016, almost 30 properties each month. That's some inventory. When you compare it to today, where there's one in Orange County that went back. Ventura has 0 that went back. Not that many typically go back. Start to add in some of the other counties. Riverside has 12, and that seemed to be a pretty consistent number that's happened in October's. Maybe we need to double check that and that data yet again. We are continuing to check and fine tune the data and make sure these numbers are accurate. We're using Black Knight, and we have one other resource. A title rep gives us the numbers as well. We cross-reference. But we're doing our best to bring you accurate data. We have no reason to want to spin this. We just want to give you accurate numbers so you can make your decisions. San Diego, low numbers. That's another market where there is equity, so they don't get to the foreclosure process and third parties can buy it up. San Bernardino, actually 18. So that is a higher number of properties than we've seen in other counties. And let's see what happened in LA, 16. So what's interesting, San Bernardino had more actually go back to the bank. And yeah, like I love to do, here's some perspective on this. When you look at the sheer numbers of properties going back in 2012, we don't have the 2011 numbers that are sunsetted on Black Knight. There's one other resource I'm working on to get the numbers for 2011, which are crazy. But over 400 properties going back to the bank in San Bernardino and Riverside, more than LA, almost double LA at the time, which is crazy. So those markets, it was very tough, and we didn't have as many flippers there to suck up that inventory, so they were actually being foreclosed on and going back to the bank. So crazy differences in the number of properties. We are nowhere near that, but of course you are going to subscribe to this channel and subscribe to my newsletter so you can track what happens to foreclosures. 2 quick things. We have a link below so you can sign up to receive all the properties that are listed on the multiple listing service, whether it's single family homes, condos, land, multifamily in Southern California. If you want to know about short sales and bank-owned homes, sign up for that link. If you want to know before they hit the multiple listing service, that's where you can use foreclosure.com. We have a link below so that you can sign up. And for a monthly fee, a low monthly fee, you can go ahead and receive foreclosures to your email inbox. But if you're not ready to sign up, don't worry. All you've got to do is enter your email, and you can sign up for email alerts, and they'll send you properties periodically, no cost for this. And if you're interested in one, then you can get your free trial and sign up. Go ahead and enter your info to receive foreclosures and other types of distressed properties in your email inbox. And don't forget, if you're going to be going down to the courthouse steps in an attempt to score a deal, that things have dramatically changed in the state of California thanks to SB 1079. Make sure you check out this video so you understand the new regulations when buying at trustee sale. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Christian Walsh, real estate agent with Wire Associates, and we want to hear from you.